This is Orla Moore, and this was supposed to be your full moon reading for the full moon in full moon in Sagittarius for the week of the 19th. I am late getting these videos out. Full moon has been interesting is not the right word. It really isn't. I don't know what to call it. I definitely don't know what to call it. So I'm going to go ahead and start. And I'm going to do the Oracle intuitive reading before I pull out the tarot. Okay, this is what I'm getting for Cancer. You're taking a deep look at what's going on in your life, but it seems like the point of view you're looking for is centered on self. It's like as if you can't change your perspective because you're centering your point of view on yourself versus being on the outside looking in or seeing from a different angle. This card I would associate with vanity and things of that nature because she has so many mirrors and she's staring at herself. She has portraits of herself. Oh, it was stuck to another card. Okay. It's like when you look within, this is all that you can see. When you look without, that's what's waiting for you to be seen. What you should be seeing. The way out, the opportunity. You know what I mean? While you're in the thick of it. Like when you get to an elevated point of view, you can see things from a bird's eye point of view. But the angle that you've got, the perception that you've got, limits what you can actually see and what you can feast your eyes on. Accumulated knowledge is fine. You can be knowledgeable about so many different things. But if you can't put it into practice or put it into use, you're just collecting things. Now you're a hoarder. You could be a craftsman. You could be a master at something. You could be an expert at something. Because you have all this knowledge that you've accumulated. But what are you doing with it? It looks like some may be sitting idle. You know, that book is blank. And all those thoughts and all those ideas, they look like those bubbles to me. Every thought, every notion you get, it just leads nowhere. It's an idea that you put out and then eventually it'll burst because you haven't done anything constructive with it. So you may be at an impasse where you sit and you feel like you have nothing going or no one, you know, in your corner. But the thing is, you have divine protection. You have this immense amount of power around you, protecting you. Almost like this bubble here. But the bubble in this card versus the ring in this card is that this is stagnation. Now you don't want to be in this environment anymore. You want to burst through and be in this one. But first you have to heal the environment you're in before you can branch out into a new one. But it's like you're not seeing how. You're only seeing you. You're only seeing what you're doing. You're only seeing what you don't need. I mean, what you need and what you don't have, and yourself. But there's more to it than that. You have to see the full spectrum of things. Disassociate yourself and look from a stranger's perspective on what you got going on. And maybe then you'll be able to put it into terms, layman's terms. Something that may seem so difficult and so hard to get out of. Jeez Louise. Once you, like I said, you have to look from another perspective. Because obviously the stance you're in, the angle you're perceiving from, the point of view that you hold, you know, when you watch movies and you see or play those games and it's your point of view and it's as if you're the person maneuvering, look from a third person perspective, as if you're in front of yourself, so you can see what's coming and what's coming around you. I just had a talk with a close friend of mine last night, and he says it's like driving, and you might see something in your rearview mirror, but you don't think about it until it's passing you. There's a reason why we have hindsight. There's a reason why we have that glimpse, that those dreams, those premonitions, those inklings, those feelings of what's coming. It's another, I told him it's like an owl, how they can rotate their sight far than our periphery and our eyes will allow. And we have that. We're all geared with that. You know what I mean? So we're in the time of Cancer now. This is your time, your, you know, spiritual new year, or bodily new year, whatever you want to call it or consider it as, where maybe you're trying to reinvent yourself or reinvent your, reestablish your focus or reestablish your goals and really assess. You know, you're turning a year older, you might be, I wouldn't say midlife crisis, but it comes to a point in life when it's like, what am I doing and where am I going and how am I going to use all this shit? You know, I have to make good use of what I've learned. I have to make good use of my time, my energies, my abilities, but yet you may feel idle. Yeah, you may have to heal, but while you're healing doesn't mean that you are immobilized, that you can't move and you can't do. Start with your first sense. You know what I mean? If whatever sense is strongest for you, you're hearing, things catch your ear, or you're always in a situation where you hear something that means something specific to you or sparks ideas or creativity, use your sense of hearing, whether it be in conversation with other people, music. Like my nephew gave me an example. He had heard a line from a movie and it sparked something in him, you know, to follow his passions for acting. But it wasn't necessarily a quote or a word about acting. It was more like a proverb. But it really made sense, and it drew something out of him, and he was able to manifest and use it in a very constructive way. Some people use their speech. You know, if it helps, talk your goals out, write them down, or write the types of things you want to achieve for yourself and read them back to yourself. Stimuli, visual stimuli. If it's something that you know sparks your interest, when you see it, like you might be a mechanic. I don't damn know. Get yourself some, you know. I know Facebook has all those forums with old school cars and body work and different stuff like that. Like spark your passion again for whatever it is that you do. She is a scholar in this card. Reading, learning, writing, all those different things. If you're a foodie, Hell, Tasty and what is that? Nifty, and they got all these different things that you can try that are easy to make at home, and experiment with things. Experiment with food, tastes. Go out and taste different types of foods. If you cook, start experimenting. And it's not like, I feel like you may have dabbled in whatever it is that drives you, but life happens and people get off course. They get off their paths because of worldly and physical obligations, rent, bills, family, work home, sleep, those types of things. But the thing is that shit making you happy? Like, for real? Are you happy with it? And if not, you have to figure out how to make yourself happy about what you're doing with your life. Nobody's going to be able to give you that answer. And it's something that you know what the hell it is. And nobody can really guide you. It's something that you have to search for. You may have many talents, but your passion is something that isn't an obligation at the end of the day. Something that you just choose to do and want to do. Something that you don't feel, damn, I gotta go to this place today. You always hear about people saying, find what you're passionate about and do that for the rest of your life. Because if you feel like you're having fun, it doesn't feel like a job. It doesn't feel like a career. It just feels like you doing what you love. Like you constantly are doing your hobbies. And that's the thing, when you put your passions into something specific, something that you enjoy, and you keep that positive attitude about just enjoying it, just doing it, whether it's for an hourly rate, a salary, or not, the money finds you. The money finds you. You just put that diligence into your passions, and I promise you, when people do things for the sole purpose of making a profit, that's when things fail. I've come to notice. You go to work, oh, I gotta meet this quota, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, do this, I gotta make this check bigger, I gotta pay this bill and that bill, so that's why I'm here today. And that's my motivation, to get the money to pay for these bills, instead of, I really enjoy this, I enjoy the fuck out of this, I'm going this place and put my foot in this work because I'm good at it and I love to do it. There's a difference. Your sense of obligation versus your sense of passion. There is a regretful feeling. It may be an opportunity that passed you by, or something that you put your energy into that you really weren't as, I want to say, dedicated to. Because all in all, even still, there's 2 cups sitting there upright. Your passions are still there, but you're crying over that spilled milk, that inheritance, that feeling of regret, remorse, or what have you, about the situation, the lover, the job, the situation at hand. What really matters is still there. The importance is still there. The passion is still there. Pick up what you do have. And those 2 cups will replenish you while you replenish them. You keep pouring your energies and your emotion and your passion into these 2 cups that still remain. Those are the things that's the partnership that you have with yourself, with your passion. You know what I mean? Bruce Lee. Hey, man. I love Bruce Lee. I don't know why that came up, but I saw a quote and it said, find out what you love. Find what it is that you love and let it kill you. It sounded real negative at first, and then I thought about it. No one wants to be on their deathbed stressed, in ill health, because they worked at a job for 35, 40 years that gave them no satisfaction. But take for instance like Steve Irwin. He was an animal lover, and he got killed by a stingray. Ironic. He's wrestling gators and crikey, that's a big one. You know what I mean? And even still, and even his daughter will vouch for the fact that no matter what, no matter how dangerous it might have been, or how people thought him crazy, that was his life's passion, was animals. And so is hers. She shares that with him. And that's what ultimately led to his demise. And I don't feel as if he was regretful about his life or his passions or what he chose to do as a career, because he loved it so much. The good, the bad, he knew the risks involved, but it was still what drove him to keep doing it every single day. You know what I mean? So that's where it's time. It's time to build. This card is the Three of Wands is enterprise. The ships are coming in, but there are 3. Which one are you going to board? It's like you set sail off in a new direction. Or there are opportunities coming to you. You have to be able to turn your back on a perceived a certain way of life that you've held for so long. It does not give you the satisfaction that you thought it would. It's not as fulfilling. So what ultimately do you want to do? And it's when you make that decision, where 2 of Wands is like indecision, trying to figure out, to plan for the future and such, and have foresight about where you may go. This is actually taking the next step to go. What I tell you, it arrives. Knight of Cups. It comes right in. The Cavalier comes right in. Or you're going towards your passion. The thing is, then comes the 2 of Wands. And it's like, now that it's here, what am I going to do with it? What are you going to do with it? And the card at the bottom of the deck, generosity with the King of Cups. You have to be passionate about whatever it is that you want to do, because no one else is going to be passionate for you. You know you want to get out of the bubble. You know you want to live in a new life, and you have this positive outlook about how things could be. But as long as you're still in the planned state, but you haven't written anything down and haven't set any goals, you'll never get there. You'll never get there. You'll never get there. Okay? You have far more knowledge than you give yourself credit for. Far more know-how. Far more planning or expertise or information. You know how to get from A to Z. You know what it's going to take for you to get there. It's a stagnation. Like, well, damn. So what if? What if I fail? What if this doesn't work out right? Damn, nothing else I've tried has worked out right thus far. I'm really pissed off, and you keep focusing on what hasn't gone right. What you feel like you've lost versus what you gained from shit. The perspective, the experience of shit. That's what you really need to focus on. Don't dwell on what has gone wrong. Because what has gone wrong brought you to this point where now you have no choice but to go after your passions. Then you had a choice. And you chose, basically you went down the road like you took a detour. Instead of following the course of your life, you took a detour and dabbled in some other shit. Or went the way you kind of questioned, but it was more secure or more lit up or whatever. And innately you knew to go this way, you went the other. And now it's just bringing you back to your path of travel. Now you can't get out of it. Now you can't escape it. Now there's no other way to go. And you have to go this way. But it's better that way. So Cancer, that's all I have for you. I'm going to try to get as many videos as I can done so that I'm not backed up for next week. I'm trying my best. I definitely will try. Okay, so comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm doing readings for donations. You can visit my website and it'll be in the comment section below. And I will see y'all next week. Bye.